Well, welcome. Good afternoon. It's good to see so many people here. It's great to be back at IMARC. I've been asked to talk about moving to the cloud or leveraging the cloud for technologies for the benefits of customers, the benefits of the vendors, the benefits of the industry. So I decided what I was going to do was I thought I'd take an example of innovation, being able to innovate something that has never been able to be innovated before, based on the power of the cloud and based on the power of processing and those types of things. Now, first of all, though, we should talk a little bit about some of the benefits, I guess, that you get moving to the cloud. Now, there's lots of different flavours of the cloud. I'm going to keep it quite high level here today. Access, obviously you can get access anywhere, anytime. You get benefits like cost. And I know a bit about this one. I used to run a company called Mincon, some people will know. We had a beautiful data centre right in the middle of a very large building, sort of an office building. This data centre had all the whistles and the bells, had raised floor, fire protection. And one day we came in, we had all our customers, we had some big customers who we hosted, came in the morning and the floor above us had been flooded. Took out the whole data centre. And when we had to rebuild it, we found there was a sewer line right through the middle of it, so we had to replumb the whole office building. So, being able to remove that cost, being able to run sort of the operations in the cloud, you don't need the infrastructure, you don't need the technology, the hardware, and so forth. So there's definitely some cost savings associated with it. Security. In the old days, everyone wanted their data secure. Amazon and Microsoft are spending so much now on security, tens of millions of dollars. Most of the boards in this country are talking about security at the moment. So there's no way an organisation like ourselves or some of the vendors could spend that much on security. So applications and the data are quite secure in the clouds now. And then you don't need all the people for the support. These organisations have the technology tools, the data tools, all those skill sets. So there's a lot of cost and a lot of risk benefits to getting to the cloud or infrastructure as a service, I suppose we talk about. And then there's another level of benefits if you can get to software as a service. And that's sort of I'm going to show you in relation to being able to innovate and build something new. But once you get to software as a service, you effectively take your application, blow it up into microservices, you get that scalability. You can scale so quickly. And being able to scale at that sort of pace, you get performance improvements for things that you haven't been able to do in the past. And then obviously there's significant cost benefits because once you get to utility pricing, at the moment, even if you're in an infrastructure as a service, you've got to sort of pay for that capacity over a long period of time, when really you want to be paying for the spikes. So some of those savings are significant. We're seeing sort of 85% savings being able to get into that utility model. And then innovation. So I'll talk a little bit about sort of innovation and new products further on. So first we have to do just a little bit of sort of history, so everyone's just on the same page. Desktop technology, a lot of desktop technology in the mining space, engineering products, design products, CAD products and those types of things. So in that world, the user interface, the database, the applications and so forth are all on the same box. And once they're on the same box, you can't really move them around so much. So your ability to integrate and to sort of share data is much more limited. So then the industry went to, I've lost it down here, but then the industry went to the enterprise, where you have your user interfaces sitting on your desktops or your laptops, and you take the data, the databases, the application servers, the security, and everything else sits in a server farm or off-site. So what you then get to do is share that data all around the place. So it's much more easy for people. Then you get to the web. I guess in relation to the web, you can access it from anywhere, anytime. You get all those benefits. So what I wanted to talk about is a product which is out there in the marketplace. It's been out there for a while. We built a product called Telpac. So Telpac was a simulation product. It had, I'll just go back a bit. Telpac was a simulation product what it did was effective. A lot of people have used it. Source destination simulation. Okay, so you simulated source to destination. 40 years that had been around the place, and what that did was, this one's moving all over the place down here, so I'm not quite sure. But so source destination, and customers were happy with it. And then what they wanted was to be able to simulate the whole mine site, all the interactions between, whether it was intersections between loaders, between trucks, everything that they could. So we bought a discrete event simulator, slotted that in under. We built really the product, I suppose you'd say, to a product called Williamson. And Williamson, very well regarded. A lot of people in this room would use Williamson. Most of the large miners have it. The OEMs use it, so we white label the OEMs, so Caterpillar, Komatsu, Hitachi. They put their own data in and they simulate the mines. What they use it for their own testing, for fleet management, but they also take it out to the customers, their customers, and look at sort of the design of the mines, look at how they can make the mines more efficient, and it really sort of simulates everything. So a good product, it's continuing to build. The latest release has batteries, has hydrogen, has trolley assists, all of those types of things. But what started to happen was that we got to ourselves to a situation where the data requirements started becoming larger. The customers were saying, hey, we want to simulate bigger mines, we want to simulate multiple mines, complexes, and so forth. So then what happened was we started sort of pushing the envelope in terms of speed. So we had to think about how we could make this product perform quicker. So we decided that what we were going to do is take the calculation engine and take it up into the web. So we thought, now if we can use the power and speed of the cloud, then we'll be able to do things a lot quicker, which is what we did. And then what happened was we had a customer come along to us and said, look, this is great that we can simulate, we can see what's happening, we can take the data, we can calibrate it. But what we really want to be able to do is start to, on a shift by shift or actually a route by route basis, we want to be able to bring those two things together. So we want to be able to look at the route, the actuals, and compare it against the simulations. Now, we know the simulations are accurate because we know the specs of all the loaders, the trucks, and those types of things. So what we wanted to be able to do is bring those both together pretty much in real time. Now, to do that, we had to sort of break the product up. So we broke it up into microservices. We took the haulage calculator first, and then we started then, because if you're going to go to SaaS, you've got to blow everything up so that you can then use it in different architectures and different structures and so forth. So we did that, and the first customer said, okay, well, we want to try it out. And they started off with 10 million routes comparisons a month. So they're now up at 50 million routes comparisons a month. So what we were able to do is effectively take the strings, the FMS strings, and take those into the cloud in a SaaS environment and quickly compare those things, like super quick. And what we then were able to do is to start thinking about, sort of the reporting associated with it. Here's sort of an example of, so we effectively take the customer's data, put it through an API, and then do those comparisons. Bang, bang. Now, we never would have thought of a product like that. When we sort of took that first step, our view was that it was to solve a problem for us. It wasn't to build a brand new product. And now we've built a brand new product which customers are buying, so they can actually do that comparison in real time. So here's sort of an example of some of the reporting that we got out of this solution. So you can see there the 3D haulage segments. But this simulation in terms of time and speed, that was really where a lot of the value came from. And as you can see, I guess, in that diagram, the yellow is the simulation, and then you've got the actuals in blue. So for this road network, we're losing about 200 seconds a route, so about 3 minutes, 20 seconds. And what the customer wanted to be able to do is to really zero down into where and why. Because if they could get down to that stage, then it was more than just a simulation, it was the actual comparison of the actuals on a shift by shift basis, and they could really target where they could start looking at developing their products and making the changes. So this is a visualization of that. And what you'll see there is you'll see the green line, right? So green line is where things were going quicker. You know that's a downhill road, so we know that the operator was going quicker than they should have during that period of time. The reds are where we were losing time, and the oranges obviously losing less time. So what the customer was able to do was to start to really focus on where they can get the benefits, where their actual benefits could be. You know, there's some turning circles there and corners where we had to lift the camber. And once we lifted the camber, it was much easier and much speedier to get through those lines. When you can see that sort of chicane there, we know that that's where the water comes down through the valley into the pit. So drainage was really important in that area, you know, speccing up the drainage. There's other areas where the roads, you could see it sort of bumping and the operator was sort of slowing the machine down. And what we could do is we could send the grader out just for that area. Okay, so we didn't have to send the grader out through the whole route, we could just focus on those sort of areas. We also started getting much better information about the intersections. And you can see in this example there, the intersections, I don't know how many people have driven a mining truck. I did one the other day, and it's quite hard looking out of those cabs. So you generally have to stop at the intersection and have a pretty good look. And then of course you're picking up your interactions with your water trucks and the dozers and everything else. So what we're able to do is really start to focus down on exactly where the issues were and start to pick up, you know, the detail and really focus on getting that the productivity up. You see at the top there, that's a dump. So as you'd expect, you know, you've got a lot of trucks running around the traps. You know, sort of everything slows down. So again, you know, it's not just the simulation, it's the actual comparison. So we never really thought that we'd be able to do that. So, and you can see in the bottom right, you know, that's the batteries. So they also want to be able to simulate batteries and those types of things. So if you know, innovation is such an important thing in the software business. We're all trying to innovate. There's people out there, you know, innovating every day. But if you can get to your situation where you're using the cloud, it's fantastic. If you can get to a situation where you're using sort of software as a service and you're able to use the power and the capability, the scalability and the speed, then you can build new products that you never would have thought about. So, you know, it's pretty satisfying actually when you with a customer, you can see them making improvements, you're providing that innovation, and you're getting those speed comments and so forth. So now it's really nice to be able to get there, but it takes a long time. You've got to be focused. But once you're there, there's not just savings. You know, it's not just about, you know, you get savings, you get risk, you get cost benefits, you get all those benefits, but innovation is an exciting part of it as well. So that was all I was going to talk about with you today. So thank you for your time. Thank you, and have a great IMARC, and nice to see you. Cheers.